beautiful day here in Tampa Bay. We now check in with the third member of our team down on the field, Chris Fisher. Chris?
Plenty of substitutions when it comes to injuries for the Buccaneers. All-pro and leading tackler Levante David will miss a second straight game with a hamstring injury. While on the offensive side of the ball, they're down to their fourth and fifth tight ends. When you look at O'Neal Cousins sliding over from tackle to start at tight end, four-stringer Cameron Brate will make his first NFL start at fullback. DJ Williams, who the Bucs just signed this week, is suited up and ready to go as the lone backup, meaning Tampa Bay will have to overcome some key injuries.
All right, Chris, that has been a major storyline for Lovie Smith this season. An incredible amount of injuries that the Bucs have had to deal with. One of the big reasons why they sit at just 2-9. Cincinnati will receive as Tampa Bay won the toss, selecting to defer. So here comes Andy Dalton, a successful return to his home state last week. Sally finally got that elusive win against the Texans on his dad's 55th birthday. A nice little gift for Pop.
Yeah, Spiro, don't be surprised if Andy Dalton, if he gets the right look from the defense, he can take a shot to A.J. Green in the early going of today's game.
Dalton has been dominant against the NFC, 11-3-1 in his 3-plus-year career. Dalton takes a shot right on first down. It's picked off. Tampa Bay getting it done with Jonathan Banks still going inside the 10 and lunges down to the 9-yard line. And how about that start for Lovie Smith's defense? 36 yards for Banks, his fourth interception of the season.
Oh, he got the right look, and he's going to come and sit down inside that cover 2 zone. And look, Dalton's going to see him, but he throws it behind A.J. Green. Poor anticipation by Dalton, throws it behind him. Therefore, it's intercepted. And so we talk about syncing up between the quarterback and receiver. This should have been a completion to A.J. Green, who was wide open on the play. Throws it behind him. Jonathan Banks picks him off.
11th interception thrown by Dalton. And what a chance early for Josh McCown to atone for the 3 turnovers last week in that 22-13 loss in Chicago. 1st and 10, they keep it on the ground. This is Doug Martin, their third-year running back, who is slowly but surely working his way back to full strength after dealing with that high ankle sprain. So here is McCown, 12th year in the NFL. We mentioned just 1-5, Solomon, in 6 starts with the Bucs.
Well, he's got to do a better job of protecting the football himself. McCown has shown he can be productive throwing the football. He's got 2 of the most talented wide receivers in the league, and Vincent Jackson, as well as Mike Evans. They can make plays down inside the red zone.
Martin, the lone setback. This is 2nd and goal from inside the 10. Martin again, bursting, taking on tacklers down to the 5-yard line as they start to attempt, Solomon, to get this running game going. They enter this weekend just 29th in the NFL in rushing. Martin, of course, dealing with the injuries, and Bobby Rainey, the early turnover problems in the season.
The ability to score early and get the Cincinnati Bengals back on their heels for Lovie Smith, I think, is going to be vitally important. Remember, this team beat the likes of a Pittsburgh Steelers football team. If they can begin to get out in front on the scoreboard here today, well, it's going to go a long way in helping them to beat Cincinnati at home.
You see Tampa's offense, despite the struggles as penalty markers listen to play dead.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Anthony Collins, their 7th-year tackle. Bill Levy is our referee. But despite the offensive issues, Sally, that they've had, they've been very good on 3rd down. You saw them top 5 in the NFL.
Well, and Josh McCown, remember, he's a 10-year veteran of the National Football League. It's really about how well you can protect him. If they can protect him, allow him to step up in the pocket again with these talented receivers, he should be able to make some plays in the passing game.
3rd and goal after the penalty. They mark it back at the 10. Bucs, the 4th highest penalized team in the NFL. They muff the snap. McCown picks it up. Will not have a chance. They get him for a loss of about 4. Carlos Dunlap able to wrap him up from the back.
They have a backup center in the game. Garrett Gilkey playing for Evan Dietrich Smith. And this ball is a dribbler. Look, it never leaves the ground. That's not a snap. Spiro, I think you could have gotten the ball back to Josh McCown better than Garrett Gilkey did on that play.
Well, Dietrich Smith, one of the late scratches today for Lovie Smith. So Gilkey, their center, only his 2nd career start. Here's Patrick Murray. And a sort of good season in terms of distance field goals. That time the chip shot from 32 yards out is good. So the Bucs unable to capitalize getting into the end zone, but they do salvage the field goal and take the early lead. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Early interception thrown by Dalton to Jonathan Banks. As Josh McCown and the Bucs able to convert a 32-yard field goal as their drive stalls. That penalty that cost them. Now the Bucs will boot it away in a reset for Andy Dalton and that Cincinnati offense. Adam Jones having a Pro Bowl caliber season, returning kicks, crosses the 20 out past the 25 and run out of bounds at around the 26. So Andy Dalton, the interception on their first play from scrimmage. Marshall Newhouse making another start. The injured Andre Smith put on injured reserve, done for the season. Guy who had been battling injuries from right early on in this campaign. Ryan Hewitt started the year way down on their depth chart at tight end. We mentioned some of the injuries that they have dealt with. Tyler Eifert, of course, lost opening day. Alex Smith going down to injury. And this kid Hewitt, the rookie out of Stanford, has become some kind of player for Marvin Lewis and Cincinnati. First and 10. This is Jeremy Hill, speaking of rookies. What a run it's been for the first-year stud out of LSU. Defensively for Tampa Bay and Lovie Smith, Jacquez Smith has come out of nowhere. 4 sacks for Smith over the last 4 games. He has become an impact player very, very quickly. We saw the linebackers, Deshaun Goldson in the back end of that secondary, a question mark this week due to illness, up and making the start for Lovie Smith. 2nd and 11 from the 25. Again, this is Hill. Past the 30, keeping those legs churning. Couple of yards short of the first down as Hill runs for 8 yards. We mentioned it right at the top, Solomon. Hill entering week 13, leading the NFL in rushing in the month of November.
Yeah, and he talked about how the offense coordinator, Hugh Jackson, helped with some of the numbers you're seeing from Jeremy Hill. Made it an easy transition for him coming in out of that program at LSU where he had been schooled by Cam Cameron, and Hugh Jackson and his ability to groom young players to get them to play right away has been remarkable.
3rd and 4, they mark it at the 34-yard line. Dalton pocket collapses, they get to him. Gerald McCoy, the Pro Bowler, dumps him for a loss of 8.
Pressure's coming off the right side of the Bengals offensive line, and that's where the right tackle, Marshall Newhouse, is working, and then you can see right up the gut, Gerald McCoy putting in plenty of work. See, the pressure comes here, and then also the collapse on the interior portion.
8.5 sacks from McCoy, tied for 3rd most, as you saw in the conference. What a season it has been for the 2-time Pro Bowler. Bobby Rainey watches that one take a bounce, and McCown back onto the field with Tampa Bay in front, 3-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by T-Mobile.
Aerial coverage of today's game being provided by MetLife. High above Raymond James Stadium, Spiro Ditas, Solomon Wilcots, Chris Fisher. Our producer, Vic Frank, director, Chris Fenson, rest of our CBS crew. 3-0 Bucs with 10:20 to play early in this first quarter. Already an Andy Dalton interception. And the count in this offense putting the 3 points on the board early. Doug Martin. Sally looking like he has some burst early in this game. Martin missing the 5 games with injuries, that high ankle sprain. Trying to work his way back to full strength. We mentioned the injured and absent Dietrich Smith out today due to illness. So Garrett Gilkey only his 2nd career start and his 1st this season. We talked about all the issues that they've had. You heard the report from Chris Fisher at the tight end position. Cameron Brate out of Harvard, 1st career NFL game. Brought him up from practice squad just this week. First and 10 after the run of 10 by Martin. Again Martin at Checker Real Estate inside Cincinnati territory all the way down to the 35-yard line. And what a start for Martin, but there is a penalty marker way back at the line of scrimmage. It is a 25-yard run. Here's
Illegal
Levy.
formation, offense. Number 75 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And Sally, that's O'Neal Cousins, usually a guard. Today doubling up and spending some time at the tight end, already having some issues.
Illegal formation, which means he's got to cover up the tackle. And see, he's lined up right here. He's got to be up on the line of scrimmage to cover up the tackle. And because he wasn't there, they're going to get him for illegal formation. But good blocking on the left side of the offensive line to free up the running back, Doug Martin.
So 25-yard burst from Martin negated on a penalty against Cousins. This is an offense that has had major obstacles going back to training camp. The man who they had brought in to be their offensive coordinator, Jeff Tedford, taking a leave due to health complications. Marcus Arroyo, their acting offensive coordinator, as you see Lovie Smith.
First down.
Getting an explanation from the officials. It has been one challenge after another for this Tampa Bay team. First and 15 from the 32. The count completes. That's the stud rookie wide receiver Mike Evans, who now approaches 900 yards receiving on the season. That time they pick up 5. Defensive starters for Cincinnati: Geno Atkins, the two-time All-Pro. Slow return from that ACL tear that caused him to miss the final 7 games last season. Coming on, Ray Maluga, back in the fold, 3rd game since returning from that hamstring strain. He has been a sight for sore eyes. And George Iloka, back end, the strong safety, having a Pro Bowl type season. One of the top coverage safeties in the National Football League. 2nd and 10, they line up from just outside the 37. Bobby Rainey onto the field, stands alongside McCown on 2nd and 10. McCown's pass, bullet, near side, it is caught. That's Vincent Jackson, the 3-time Pro Bowler. They pick up 9 yards on a nice little throw from McCown.
Well, this is like 7-on-7. Okay, you got one-on-one matchup outside with Vincent Jackson against Adam Jones. No pressure in the face to disrupt the timing of the passing game between McCown and his receivers. We told you these are 2 of the most talented receivers in the league. If you don't pressure McCown, he's going to challenge these Bengals corners today, and they're going to be able to make plays in the passing game.
3rd and 1 from the 46. Keep it on the ground. This is Martin. That second little burst has enough for the first down, and they move the chain. So we mentioned the issues that they have at the tight end position. How does that affect the play calling, Solomon, for Marcus Arroyo?
I think that basically it's going to eliminate your ability to run the ball effectively. However, by putting O'Neal Cousins at that tight end position, you can tell the Bucs are coming out and they're determined to run it. And we've seen Doug Martin get to the second level of this Bengals defense. They've been very effective running the ball without those 3 tight ends in the game, and I think that's encouraging them to stay committed to the running game.
First and 10 after the run from Martin, just short of the 50. Keep it on the ground. Martin again inches inside Cincinnati territory. They pick up 4 more yards. Tackled by the linebacker, Emmanuel Lemur. Busy day around the NFL. Back to New York in an update. Here's James Brown.
Baltimore with a quick start. On their first drive, here comes Torrey Smith, 16 yards from Joe Flacco. One-handed catches are all the rage these days in the NFL. And the Ravens just tacked on a field goal to make it 10-0 over the Chargers. Spiro, Solomon, and Scott.
All right, JB. Baltimore trying to keep the pressure on Cincinnati. Just a half game back at the top of that AFC North. Here's Charles Sims, the rookie running back out of West Virginia, who missed the first 8 games with an ankle injury. They were chomping at the bit, Sally, to see what they had in this kid. The numbers slow to kind of get to full strength, but they feel like he's got a big future.
Yeah, they have a rotation of 4 running backs, but they think the rookie, the 3rd-round pick out of West Virginia, Charles Sims, is the most talented of the group. And Lovie Smith is counting on him to jumpstart a running game. Remember, they've yet to have more than 100 yards rushing in 8 of their last 9 games. They hope to be able to turn that around today.
3rd and 3. McCown, quick drop, strike over the middle, nearly picked. Right through the hands of Maluga, who was in on a tight coverage against Jackson. Cincinnati's defense able to get off the field.
Well, they were able to make a play on defense. Watch Ray Maluga, pattern reading. He's pushing to that inside route run by Vincent Jackson. Look, makes a play on it. And this is where McCown really does have to be careful. Do a better job of reading the defense and getting the ball to the open receiver.
This just wasn't the same Cincinnati defense in the time that Maluga was injured with that hamstring strain. Excellent coverage on the punt. Brandon Tate signaling for the fair catch. And Tampa Bay's going to pin the Bengals inside their own 5. Beautiful 44-yard punt. I'll find the perfect gift for the sports fan on your gift list. Beat the crowds and save 10% when you shop CBS Sports. Take advantage of this offer right now at cbssports.com/holiday. Couple of gift ideas on there for you, buddy. 1st and 10 after the beautiful punt by Michael Caden. Giovanni Bernard will get Cincinnati some breathing room. Crosses the 10. First down run of 14 yards and a huge pickup for Bernard as they'll move the chains.
Yeah, it's going to be off their right side, but his ability to get to the second level, we told you both running backs can hit home runs. And you talked about Ryan Hewitt, number 89, their 3rd string tight end, now becoming a fullback within this offense. He has also helped fuel the Cincinnati Bengals rushing attack.
In motion, 1st and 10, play action, Dalton strikes, finds Green, quick spin, Green up past the 30, and run out of bounds at the 35-yard line by Goldson, but not before Green picks up 20 and a first down.
Well, when Andy Dalton gets dialed in with A.J. Green, he's capable of making plays like this. Watch the slant route. Banks doesn't drive on the route, he overshoots it, and then the spin move by A.J. Green to come out of it to create yards after the catch. He can have a big game here today against this cover 2 shell that's going to allow him to catch it underneath.
1st and 10, this is Bernard. We mentioned the run, Sally, that Green has been on. Last week, a career-high 12 receptions, has gone for 120-plus receiving yards in each of the last 2 games, as you see where he stacks up with some of the games elite.
Yeah, and when he goes out on the road, he can put up the huge numbers. And take a look at that. With some of the best in the National Football League, as we told you in the open. Now, you know, Tampa, their signature coverage is Tampa 2. That means they're going to allow him to catch it underneath. They don't want him to get behind the defense.
Go to 59. Hey, turn.
2nd and 8. Dalton from the gun, little screen pass. That's the tight end, Jermaine Gresham. Crosses the 40, brought down at around the 41-yard line after a pass play of 4 yards. And that'll set up a 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, it's manageable. And remember, against this cover 2 shell, we talked to Andy Dalton saying, okay, what do you want to do? And even as head coach Marvin Lewis talked about it, that Lovie Smith's defense will force the quarterback to be patient and accurate with the football. We already saw one inaccuracy lead to an interception for Andy Dalton.
Play clock was down to 1 second. We saw the penalty flag coming in from behind the play.
Ball start. Number 61 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's going to hurt him right there, Spiro. Russell Bodine, the center, absolutely. He's got to be able to hold the water. I think he may have flinched, understanding he needed to get the ball off, but of course, Andy Dalton didn't signal for him to go ahead and snap the football. Now it puts him in 3rd and long. And look at the hand. See the hand movement right there by Bodine, and that's what they're going to call him on.
Bucs showing blitz on 3rd and 9. Dalton under duress, his pass flooded out of his hands. There may have been contact right at the point of release. It was Gerald McCoy who had the sack earlier against Sally, wreaking havoc straight up the gut.
I don't know. That ball came out of Andy Dalton's hand as if he had no idea where he really wanted to go with the football. He's going to look to the bunch side. Look, he's looking. Now the ball's going to come out okay. Now look as if Lansana or even McCoy, as you mentioned, was able to hit his hand to knock the ball loose.
Kevin Huber barely able to get that punt away. Bobby Rainey's going to play it from outside his own 20, crosses the 25, and gets ahead to around the 26. Return of 8, 44-yard punt. 3-0 Bucs on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Dodge Dart. Don't touch it.
Little cigar shop in Ybor City, getting Solomon Smokes ready for after the game. 1st and 10, Tampa Bay. Just inside the 30. Good start for Doug Martin. We mentioned the 5 games that he missed, about a month on the shelf. And speaking of injuries, the Cincinnati defense and offense has had to deal with their own case of injuries. We mentioned Vontaze Burfict out today, a 5th consecutive game, but now Luga back, 3rd game since he was out with that long absence due to the hamstring strain.
Now you take a look at that list of players, and you wonder how the Bengals are in first place in their division, having won 7 games. And Marvin Lewis has done a really good job of pulling this team together since that Thursday night loss against the Cleveland Browns, and they have responded despite all of those losses due to injuries.
2nd and 7 from the 32. McCown, quick strike over the middle. Look out, that is Cameron Brate, the rookie out of Harvard, whom they signed this week due to the number of injuries at the tight end position. And how about that for his first career reception?
This is going to be awesome. This is what we call wide pop. You get it over the linebacker in front of the safety, and then he gets popped on the play by Reggie Nelson. Hence the term wide pop, right?
Exactly right. 17-yard pickup from Brate. That'll get his blood flowing as he plays in his first ever NFL game this afternoon. 1st and 10, just short of the 50. McCown play action. Fires far side. It is caught. Vincent Jackson able to stay in bounds. 15 yards and another Tampa Bay first down.
Okay, Spiro, the Cincinnati Bengals only have 1 quarterback sack in their last 3 games. So you expect Josh McCown to get plenty of time to throw the football today, and we've seen that. And now what we're seeing is him getting the ball down the field to his tight end, to his receivers. We already said this is amongst the most talented group of wide receivers between Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans. And so they're winning the matchup battles one-on-one on the outside for their quarterback, Josh McCown.
McCown trying to bounce back from the 3 turnovers last Sunday in the bad weather in Chicago. This is Martin again. Lowers his shoulder, bowls his way close to the 30. As the final seconds come off the clock, 6-yard run from Martin in what has been a very effective first quarter for him. 29 rushing yards on 7 carries. End of the first in Tampa Bay. Bucs in front of the Bengals, 3-0. We'll return to Tampa Bay after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. 3-0 Tampa Bay. Start of the second quarter back at Raymond James Stadium. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Temperatures in the mid to low 70s at kickoff. 2nd and 4 as Josh McCown trying to get this offense into the end zone. Looks like Tampa Bay burning a timeout here.
Tampa Bay, they're first.
Marcus Arroyo, their acting offensive coordinator, seeing something he didn't like. So they'll go back to the drawing board. We'll start the quarter when we come back on CBS. Tampa Bay's interim offensive coordinator, 34-year-old Marcus Arroyo, had to step into that void left after the departure of Jeff Tedford due to the health complications before the season. Some confusion, had to burn a timeout before the quarter even began. 2nd and 4, this is Martin inside the 25, and another first down rush for the 30-year running back. He picks up 6.
And all of the things that were plaguing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense they're able to do very well today. They had really struggled to run the football. Lovie Smith, today, his offense is able to run. They weren't able to protect the quarterback where they came in today's game, Spiro, having allowed a sack in 27 consecutive games. Today against the Bengals, doing a really good job of protecting Josh McCown.
First and 10, play action for McCown. He's going to take a shot, near side end zone to Evans. He caught the football but lands out of bounds. Terrence Newman, the two-time Pro Bowl corner, right with him step for step. It'll be second and 10.
Well, if there's one area where the Cincinnati Bengals defense has been very consistent, it's on the back end in coverage. As you take a look at Terrence Newman, they play top-down coverage. That means they're not going to allow you to get behind them. And that's why they've allowed the fewest touchdown passes of any defense in the National Football League, only allowing 11. That number's going to be tested today against Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans.
What a run Evans has been on, dominant over the last 4 weeks. Second and 10 after the incompletion. Little screen pass near side. This is the rookie Sims. Inside the 20, close to the 15-yard line after a pass play of 9 yards. Back to New York in an update, JB and Boomer.
San Diego answers Baltimore. Right down 10-0. Phillip Rivers is going to find Keenan Allen 12 yards. That's Phillip Rivers' 23rd touchdown pass of the season. Ravens lead 10-7.
Spiro and Solomon.
That'll make the folks back in Cincinnati a little bit happier. Meantime, in the AFC West, San Diego trying to stay right with Denver and Kansas City as Week 13 continues to unfold. Critical third and 2. McCown under pressure, and they get to him. Geno Atkins, the two-time Pro Bowler. There is a penalty marker thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
They're going to say he inadvertently grabbed the face
Personal
mask.
foul, face mask.
Oh, boy.
Defense. Half the distance from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Now, this is rather unfortunate because as McCown was struggling to get away, you know, Geno Atkins is just grabbing whatever he can get, and it's an inadvertent grab of the face mask, meaning accidental right there. As he grabbed it, didn't let go, but nonetheless, they're going to get him. There it is right there.
And Sally, we had touched on it during the break. Cincinnati having issues getting to the quarterback. They finally do, and they're called for the face mask.
Yeah, even when they do get to him, it doesn't account as a productive play for the Bengals defense.
Would have been a loss of 8. Instead, it's first and goal from inside the 10. They mark it at the 8-yard line. Play clock down to 2. Pre-snap movement.
Number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's the tackle, Anthony Collins, who's had some issues early on.
There's a lot of issues up front on this offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about the play of their center, Garrett Gilkey, who's already rolled 1 snap on the ground. Penalty on O'Neal Cousins. Lovie Smith moving from the guard position to tight end and now is starting left tackle. The former Cincinnati Bengal himself, Anthony Collins, struggling to hold his position on the offensive line.
You see the penalties and the turnovers. Not going to win many football games with those kind of numbers. First and goal after the penalty, Martin. Ray Maluga eventually brings him down as he gets past the original line of scrimmage. After a pickup of 5 yards, it'll be second and goal.
The Bengals' run defense has struggled pretty much all season. They've lacked consistency to fill the rush lanes. And you can see Maluga is just all over the place making tackles. But they're going to have to do a better job of plugging up holes along the line of scrimmage, or Doug Martin's going to have a big day running the ball against the Bengals defense.
It's been one injury after another for Martin after that Pro Bowl season as a rookie back in 2012. Second and goal. Blitz coming from Cincinnati. Martin bursting to the edge, into the end zone for the Tampa Bay touchdown.
The Bengals are going to blitz from their right side. We talk about blitzing the run. Reggie Nelson is going to come in off the defensive right side. You're going to see him come in from here, but the run's going to crack over here, so they run away from the blitzing pressure, and they're able to get a split. Dunlap is blocked. The linebackers at the second level are blocked, and they don't get it shored up on the other side away from the blitzing safety, Reggie Nelson.
7-yard run from Martin. Only his second rushing touchdown of the season. Here's Patrick Murray, the Fordham product. Bangs it through the uprights. And how about this start from Tampa Bay? 10-0 as they go toe-to-toe with the first-place team in the AFC North. Stay with us. Watch NFL Now. Get access to the largest NFL video library on the planet. Select your favorite teams and players, and NFL Now delivers non-stop videos on all your devices. Get NFL Now for free. NFL.com/now. Adam Jones crosses the 20, trying to cut back. Unable to find any breathing room there. They dump him at the 21-yard line. So 10-0 Tampa Bay. Let's go downstairs, check it again with Chris Fisher.
Spiro and Solomon, what if I told you when Tony Dungy started to turn around this Bucs franchise in the late 90s, Marvin Lewis was nearly a part of it. Then the linebackers coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tony Dungy wanted to hire Lewis as his defensive coordinator. Pittsburgh blocked him from leaving, so Dungy turned to Monty Kiffin. That same year, Lewis took the coordinator job in Cleveland. A couple months later, the Browns became the Baltimore Ravens. And Monty Kiffin, well, he went on to win a Super Bowl and got to hang on to a couple guys named Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp.
Wow. now we know the rest of the story, Chris.
Two men that go back an awful long time, both the same age at 56, and incredible success at the NFL level. And a short screen pass to the rookie running back, Jeremy Hill. They go back a long way, Solomon, even back to their days as college assistants. Marvin Lewis at the University of New Mexico, Lovie Smith at Tulsa. Infinite respect for each other, as we had a chance to visit with both men last couple of days.
Both cut their teeth in the National Football League on the defensive side of the ball, but not before coaching at the collegiate level. And I think they do a really good job of evaluating talent at the collegiate level. They really assist their programs very well in the draft and been able to build successful programs.
2nd and 4, quick little pass. Near side, this is the rookie James White. Only his 3rd reception of the season, the 7th-round pick out of LSU. 17 yards and a huge Cincinnati first down.
Oh, Hugh Jackson is well aware that this offense has got to get something going. They wanted to get off to the fast start, but they had the interception for Dalton. And then the cute, nice little play, just throwing the ball down the line of scrimmage, getting the ball in the hands of a playmaker like Wright. The catch and run, very significant on the game.
Direct snap. It'll trickle in Mohamed Sanu. Inside Tampa Bay territory, down to the 45-yard line. 10 yards on the play by Sanu as Hugh Jackson throwing the Bucs a little curveball.
Yeah, he's been, look at this. This is just a wildcat. And we know Sanu can throw the ball from that position. We don't expect him to run it like that. But this is just being very creative from Hugh Jackson. You got to find a way to help your quarterback, like Andy Dalton when he's struggling in the early going. This type of play calling by the coordinator goes a long way into assisting Andy Dalton to move the ball down the field.
Career season for Sanu as they go end around. It's right again. Crosses the 45 inside the 40 and gang tackled out of bounds by a host of Bucs defenders after a pickup of 5.
Well, we know Gio Bernard and Jeremy Hill, they can pound it downhill, but when you come around like this and just flip it to get to the edge of the defense, there's yards to be gained. Look at Hewitt. Well, he's been great at doing that. Number 89, he pancakes Jonathan Banks to help block on the run play. He's been really significant in fueling the run game by blocking. Right now, he's lined up in the backfield at fullback.
Quick tempo to this offense continues to be called by Hugh Jackson. So very balanced attack so far. 2nd and 5. Here's the rookie Hill. First down run inside the 35 ahead to right around the 34-yard line. As that clock continues to run, we come up on 9 minutes left before halftime. Well, keep in mind, this is a Tampa Bay defense. We heard the report early from Chris Fisher that is without Levante David, out with a hamstring injury. A man who entered this week right at the top of the NFL in tackles. Huge loss. Didn't get the first down, so it is 3rd and short. Looks like they will get it on the quarterback keeper from Dalton. Ahead to the 34.
Well, you mentioned the loss of Levante David. Danny Lansana has come in at the will linebacker position, has played very well. Number 51, 3 interceptions. He's played really well. And then you have Lemon, who's also coming in. He's playing at the Sam linebacker position, number 45. So the Bengals got to believe that they could pound the run game and be effective.
Seventh play of the drive, 1st and 10. This is Hill again. Gets ahead to the 32-yard line. Bradley McDougald thrust into a more prominent role today with Goldson playing but under the weather as Hill picks up a couple.
As the Cincinnati Bengals look to be moving the football on this drive, you know, we talked to Marvin Lewis about the struggles of this football team in that Thursday night game against the Cleveland Browns and the struggles of Andy Dalton. He says, yeah, Andy has to play better. He said, but the other 10 guys around Andy Dalton, they have to play better. We're seeing that on this drive.
Jackson inserts Bernard, offset eye to the right. Dalton play action on 2nd and 9. Quick strike, that's Hewitt with a penalty marker thrown just at the end of the play. At around the 25-yard line, the pass play goes for 4 to Hewitt. And now we await the call. Here's Bill Levy.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, number 21 defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
That's the Pro Bowler Alteron Werner.
Yeah, he's matched up with A.J. Green right here. Still holding on. I don't know that hands to the face. I would say he was still bumping and jamming and sort of disrupting A.J. beyond that 5-yard bump area. You can hit him and harass the receiver within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Beyond that, you have to let him go.
After the penalty, 1st and 10. 8th play of the drive that has spanned nearly 5 minutes. Draw play, this is Bernard. Someone lost their hat as Bernard gets inside the 20, 6 yards on the ground. Looked like it was Bodine. Akeem Spence on the tackle.
You know, we talked to the Cincinnati Bengals. They told us that this defensive front, as you can see, Bodine losing his lid. Got to keep your head in this game. But they talked about the defensive front for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as being one of the best they've seen all season long. And they just played the likes of J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans 1 week ago. They think with Gerald McCoy and this group, they think that as a group, the Bucs have a better defensive front than the Houston Texans.
2nd and 4, play action. Dalton sold it well, throws near side end zone. It is intercepted. Brandon Dixon, the rookie corner out of Northwest Missouri State. 2nd interception thrown by Dalton. Just when you thought Cincinnati was figuring things out offensively, Tampa Bay takes it back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. The all-new LG G3, the world's first smartphone with laser autofocus. And by K Jewelers.
Second interception thrown today by Andy Dalton has given the football back to Tampa Bay, and a lot to talk about between he and Hugh Jackson on that Cincinnati sideline.
Yeah,
10-0 Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he can't be happy. Andy forced the ball into double coverage. You have to go elsewhere with that throw.
Cincinnati able to jump and blitz that run play. Penalty markers as Martin is right back to the line of scrimmage.
Illegal shift. 2 men moved prior to the snap. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
Solly, take us back to the interception.
Well, it's a basic cover 2 defense. So you have one safety here, one safety here. And so he's going to try to force this ball over into this area as you're going to get A.J. Green running into double coverage. Look, cornerback underneath, safety over the top. You've got to go elsewhere with the football. And Andy Dalton said that, yes, there are sometimes he's going to give A.J. Green an opportunity to make a play against double coverage. That was not one of the times you want to do it. And I'm sure he's hearing that from his coordinator, Hugh Jackson.
2nd and 10, this is Martin. If you've just joined us, very effective so far in this first half. That time, 8 yards for Martin. Already a season high, 55 yards on the ground on just 12 attempts and a touchdown.
You know, Lovie Smith talked about his cover 2 defense, that Tampa 2 defense we've heard so much about, Spiro. He felt that that defense lent itself to naturally play double coverage against A.J. Green. We said at the open that they were going to play a lot of double coverage on A.J. Green. You saw it there, and I think the patience and discipline has to really be a part of the game for Andy Dalton to go elsewhere with the football and allow some of his other receivers to make plays.
3rd and 3, quick drop from McCown, trying to go back shoulder to Evans, who was late to turn. Coverage by Terrence Newman, and Tampa Bay forced to punt.
Newman is saying that Vincent Jackson interfered with him. The wide receiver cannot initiate contact beyond 5 yards down the field, and clearly Vincent Jackson, or I should say Mike Evans, initiated contact there against Terrence Newman.
Count so far, 5 of 8 thrown, 54 yards passing. With Tampa Bay holding a 10-0 lead. Michael Kanan already 1 punt inside the 20. Adam Jones blown up. Vicious hit by Lemon. One of their backup linebackers in a more prominent role today, introducing himself to Adam Jones. Timeout. Earlier this morning, Tampa Bay officially opened the Bucs Play 60 Zone, presented by Florida Hospital. It's within the Kids Zone here at Raymond James Stadium. Looks like the youngsters had a great time earlier this morning. NFL Play 60 encourages kids to come out and play for 60 minutes a day. To learn how to find great play ideas, visit NFLrush.com/play60. Andy Dalton through the air to Jermaine Gresham, the 2-time Pro Bowl tight end. First down pass play of 15 as Dalton Solly tries to recover after throwing that second pick.
And by virtue of the play calling, the coordinator, Hugh Jackson's doing everything he can to help his quarterback, Andy Dalton, being creative in the run game and giving him short, easy throws in the passing game.
1st and 10, Jeremy Hill inside the 45, close to the 43-yard line. Tackled by Danny Lansana. 6-yard run. We had a chance to visit with Jeremy yesterday. Grew up about 10 minutes away from the stadium in Baton Rouge. Start for his hometown team, 2 years under Cam Cameron in that offense at LSU. And what a bright future this kid has for Cincinnati.
Yeah, and if you take a look at Hugh Jackson, he said that his coordinator at LSU, Cam Cameron, and Hugh Jackson, the same offense with the same terminology.
Hill moving that pile. Wide load inside the 40, appears to have enough for another Cincinnati first down. He certainly does, as Hill continues to build on his rushing totals. You mentioned leading the NFL in rushing in the month of November and leads all NFL rookies for the season.
Well, he said that having played in the offense at LSU really did prepare him for the National Football League. It's a pro-style system, and he felt like learning the protection scheme, which linebackers to pick up to help protect the quarterback, really helped him to get on the field so much faster. It helped him to adapt to NFL football.
Lynch and McCoy able to move in front with their games on Thanksgiving. Flea flicker action. What a pass and new to A.J. Green. Hugh Jackson going deep into the playbook in his first half.
If your quarterback can't complete the ball down the field, then get it out to Mohamed Sanu. Now, this is a pass that's behind the line of scrimmage, and that's why it's a legal forward pass on the second throw from Mohamed Sanu. See, look, it comes behind the line of scrimmage. Now, if he doesn't catch that, it would be ruled a fumble. And so, because it's behind the line of scrimmage, it's actually a legal throw from Sanu to A.J. Green.
We already have seen Sanu take a direct snap, run the football, that time as a passer. Gio Bernard on 1st and 10, still going. Out of bounds right at the 20. We have seen, Sally, a dynamic offense in terms of play calling. Can they finally get on the scoreboard?
We're seeing excellent play calling from Hugh Jackson. He's doing everything he can to help this football team, to help this offense. There are a lot of playmakers on this offense, from Jeremy Hill to A.J. Green to Gio Bernard, Mohamed Sanu. And I think it's about getting the balls in their hands, and that's what Andy Dalton really got to think. Make the simple play.
Little pitch play. This is Bernard again. Cuts back inside the 10. And it will be 1st and goal. Cincinnati. Football came loose, but not before Bernard had stepped out of bounds. So a 14-yard run will set up a 1st down and goal to go. We'll see where they mark the football.
How big would a score be here for the Cincinnati Bengals after falling behind 10-0 on the road, and 2 early turnovers by their quarterback, Andy Dalton.
Injured Tampa Bay defender is Ori Lemon, having to step in start today for the injured Levante David. They just cannot afford to lose any more of these defenders. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by new Amazon Fire TV Stick, the most powerful streaming stick. And by Lexus. The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here, now through January 5th.
Ori Lemon continues to be looked at on that Tampa Bay sideline. First down, goal to go. Already a shorthanded Bucs defense without Levante David, hamstring injury. Late scratch to this game. And now Tampa Bay will watch as Cincinnati allows the clock to go down to the 2-minute warning. 10-0, Tampa Bay in front on CBS. First and goal, Salud. Where do they go here?
This looked like a passing formation, particularly the personnel grouping. Without Ryan Hewitt on the field, I'm expecting a pass if I'm the Bucs defensively.
Dalton with a shovel pass. Cincinnati wasn't fooled. Jermaine Gresham stuck. Danny Lansana leading the charge. They lose 3.
They tried to go with the shovel pass up the middle to Jermaine Gresham coming around and play, but they collapsed the middle of that Bengals offensive line. Really good read. Now, Hewitt's not in the game. I'm still expecting a pass play, and you can tell they're going from empty set here, but the quarterback Dalton's been known to run it.
Bernard lines up in the slot towards the bottom of your picture. On second and goal, Dalton from the gun. Dalton hit as he throws. Backside end zone for Sanu. Incomplete. Late penalty flag comes in.
Pass intended for Sanu. They're going to say that there were some hand
Prior to
fighting.
the pass, holding, number 32 defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's Isaiah Fry, the second-year corner out of Nevada. And a tough call to take for Lovie Smith.
Give the Bengals a first down on the penalty on Fry. Lovie doesn't see where it happened. Now the ball right now is just inside the 5-yard line, and if you're the defender in this area of the football field, you don't want to play behind the receiver. You want to get in front of him and force the quarterback to throw it over your head. You always play in between the quarterback and the receiver, this area of the field.
Fake the drop play beautifully. Dalton fools everyone and runs it in for 6.
I told you he's been known to run it in this area of the field. He's mobile enough to make plays like this for his play caller, Hugh Jackson, who did a wonderful job setting up this drive for Andy Dalton. It's a read option. They fake it to Giovanni Bernard. He keeps it, and he finds a running lane to get it into the end zone.
Third rushing touchdown of the season for Dalton, 10th of his career. And finally, Cincinnati able to get on the board. Here's Mike Nugent. He had a brief stint as a Buck back in 2009. Perfect on the point after. There's so much riding on this game for both teams. Certainly Cincinnati, just a half-game lead atop the AFC North. 3-point game on CBS. Reminder to keep it here. The Verizon halftime report coming up in minutes. We'll send you to New York. JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cowher. All the latest scores and highlights. We'll have a preview of Thursday Night Football coming up on NFL Network on the Verizon halftime report next. Andy Dalton, rushing touchdown, his 3rd of the season, gets Cincinnati on the board. 10-7 Bucs, with just 68 seconds left in this first half. Mike Nugent on to boot it away. The Cincinnati team that has won 2 straight road games. A 7-3-1 half-game lead atop the AFC North. Bobby Laney nearly upended across the 20. Ahead to the 22-yard line. So Tampa Bay solid, 2 timeouts left. Josh McCown has had his struggles. What do they look to do here with just over a minute remaining?
I think you continue to play well, but you have to be careful. Remember, the Bucs were in this similar situation last week on the road at Chicago, and they jumped out to a 10-0 lead. They came out in that third quarter, and penalties and turnovers, consecutive turnovers on possessions by the quarterback Josh McCown led to a 21-point explosion for the Bears. And they go on to squander a 10-point lead and lose the game. So you have to be careful while continuing to press the pedal to the metal against this Bengals defense.
Well, the Bucs entering the day in such a unique position, 2-9, last place in the NFC South with just 2 games out for what would be an improbable postseason berth. And a first down pass play intended for Robert Haran, the rookie out of Wyoming, and their 6th-round pick falls incomplete.
Take the easy completions if you're Josh McCown. Don't force the football, and make sure that anything that the protection is there for your quarterback. Remember, they're missing 3 tight ends who are normally on the roster that would help in that pass protection. So make sure that you can keep the quarterback clean.
So keep in mind, Cincinnati with all 3 timeouts left. Low snap fielded by McCown on 2nd and 10. Screen pass, this is Rainey. Crosses the 30, little juke move inside the 35-yard line. That is enough for a first down. 13 yards through the air. As you see Patrick Murray, the target line right around the 36, his career-long 55 earlier this season indoors in New Orleans.
And that was an example of taking the easy throw to Rainey coming out of the backfield as opposed to forcing the ball down the field to your talented wide receivers who you expect to win. But that was an equally impressive decision by Josh McCown.
First and 10, McCown feels the pressure, throws near the side. That's intercepted. Terrence Newman.
This is Exhibit A. And look, 3-step drop. He knows they're blitzing. Terrence Newman steps in front of Vincent Jackson because of the blitzing pressure, forcing the early and hurry throw from Josh McCown. This is a veteran quarterback in Terrence Newman. You see the pressure on McCown, the 3-step drop and read. You just sit and read the quarterback, expect the ball to come out early. And that's how Terrence Newman comes away with his first interception on the season.
9th pick thrown by McCown this season, and that is a monster. 3 timeouts for Cincinnati, 46 seconds remaining. As Tampa Bay will burn its 2nd timeout. What a turn of events in a 3-point game. Oh, you thought maybe Tampa Bay would have a chance at a late field goal. Suddenly an interception by McCown, and now the Bengals in the driver's seat. 1st and 10 pass. There is Sanu, finally his first reception. Inside the 40. What about strategy here, Sally, with 3 timeouts for Hugh Jackson?
I think you can go ahead and take a shot, even over the middle of the field. But, you know, Andy Dalton's going to continue to maybe press the ball down the field. He's shown that he has the ability to bounce back from poor starts.
Dalton fakes the draw, throws off his back foot, just put it up for grabs. Intercepted by Werner. Third interception by Dalton, 7th time in his career with 3+ picks.
Oh, this is just a poor decision by Andy Dalton. He throws it off his back foot, and the ball sails high. I think he was trying to throw it down the field and out of bounds. Now remember, from standing in the pocket, you've got to get that ball out of bounds if you're throwing it away. But he just laid it up for the defender to come away with the interception. And right now, we're not getting good play from either quarterback, Josh McCown or Andy Dalton.
Jacquez Smith came with the heavy pressure. But a terrible decision by Dalton. Gives it back to Tampa Bay with 11 seconds left and 1 timeout in their back pocket. Rainey, the lone setback. McCown from the gun on 1st and 10. He's going to take at least 1 chance. Tucks it away. He's going to run it. Trying to get to that sideline. Will not. Looks like a penalty marker thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
Number 66 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Patrick Omame, their 2nd-year guard. Penalized. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. We'll send you to New York. Guys standing by. They'll take you around the league as Week 13 continues. plus a preview of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. It's all next on the Verizon Halftime Report. Sully, maybe one last chance. 3 seconds left on what'll be a 1st and 20 from back at their own 36.
Well, there's not going to be enough time to get the ball down the field and set up for a field goal. It's just a Hail Mary opportunity, if that. Or you just simply take a knee, regroup at halftime, and figure out how you're going to hold on to this lead.
Looks like Cincinnati will burn a timeout here. Marvin Lewis looking on. Sally, everything was set up for Cincinnati today. A 2-9 Tampa team that has struggled, yet they have struggled. Dalton, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, just poor reads on the defense. Predetermining where he wants to go with the football. Throwing the ball even into double coverage, trying to force it into A.J. Green, and then just making poor decisions even while under duress. Instead of throwing it away, he throws it up for grabs, allowing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to come down with their 3rd interception in the first half of today's game.
There's so much talk about Dalton having a down year after signing that monstrous contract extension before the season. Has had moments where he's looked like the Dalton of the last 3 years, but it has been a nightmare first half for the 4th-year quarterback. 1st and 20. Won't take any chances here. Rainey on the ground, crosses the 45, runs out of bounds just short of the 50. Adam Jones there. As both of these teams will head in and regroup. A lot to think about for Dalton, the 3 interceptions. As Tampa Bay takes a 10-7 halftime lead into the dressing room.
Well, some creative play calling by Hugh Jackson. Everything he can do to help his quarterback, Andy Dalton. And if Josh McCown can protect the football, the Bucs can hold on to this game.
Let's go downstairs. Chris Fisher with Marvin Lewis.
Marvin, 3 interceptions in this first half for Andy Dalton.
Yeah, obviously that's the thing. We can't have the turnovers we had, and we got to do a greater job of tackling on defense.
You guys have been able to get pressure on Josh McCown. How do you sustain that headed into the second half?
Well, we got to continue to do what we're doing, but play good coverage and good technique, and obviously can't turn the football over.
Good luck.
All right, Chris, so Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati trying to keep their tenuous place atop the AFC North, down 3. The Verizon Halftime Report next. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Cincinnati Bengals tenuously atop the AFC North, and a Tampa Bay team, despite the 2-9 record, still within striking distance for a postseason berth. Spiro Dita, Solomon Wilcox back with you. The NFL on CBS continues. 3 interceptions from Andy Dalton. The storyline, Solomon, in that first half just seemed to be telegraphing his throws. How can they bounce back?
Well, both quarterbacks are giving a whole new meaning to the season of giving. Just turning the football over. 1 by Josh McCown, and 3, as you said, by Andy Dalton. I think you've got to protect the football. If you're Andy Dalton, hold on to the football. Allow your offense coordinator to help you create some yards in the running game, and then they can get it going.
All right, let's take a look at the Bose game changer. This was the middle of the 3 interceptions by Dalton. A play-action pass attempting to thread the needle to A.J. Green, who was double covered in the end zone. And a nightmare first half continuing from Dalton. Brandon Dixon, the rookie first career interception, as Bobby Rainey fields it and takes a knee for the touchback. Let's go downstairs, check in again with Chris Fisher. Chris?
Spiro talking with Lovie Smith. He says he likes the way his offense has been able to run the ball, but they'd like to get more shots downfield. Cincinnati's secondary's done a good job in limiting Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans. On the defensive side, he likes what he's seen. He likes the way they've been able to attack Andy Dalton, but at the same token, they need to be able to quiet the running attack for the Bengals, Spiro.
Cincinnati getting some good work on the ground. Giovanni Bernard, 44 yards. The rookie Jeremy Hill, 23 rushing yards on 6 attempts in a 10-7 game as Tampa Bay starts 1st and 10 from the 20. They keep it on the ground. This is Martin. Crosses the 20, picks up a couple. Tackle made by Leon Hall. Sally, as we take a look at some of the numbers in that first half, and again, the turnovers, the major story.
It is the major storyline because the Bengals have been able to run the football. As Chris said in his report, Lovie Smith believes this defense got to do a better job in the second half of shutting down that Cincinnati Bengals running game. But it doesn't matter if the quarterback Andy Dalton is going to keep turning the ball over, especially when they enter the Tampa Bay Buccaneers red zone.
Here's McCown from the gun on 2nd and 8. All day to throw. Slings it near side. It's incomplete. Evans, the rookie, was double covered and late penalty markers come in. Reggie Nelson, Leon Hall were there step for step. Were they too physical?
Flag came in late. And they may go ahead and throw it against Mike
Pass
Evans.
interference. Number 13 offense.
You're right.
10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
You know, these are the pre- and post-snap penalties that Lovie Smith talked about. Remember, the Bucs are the 4th most penalized team in the league. And see, he's holding on to Leon Hall. He says, if I can't get to it, he's not going to allow the defenders to get to the football. He's holding them both. Like, he was holding them both as if they're under arrest. He had them both by their jerseys because he was unable to get to the football.
What a job they've done on Evans, who had dominated the last 4 weeks, leading the NFL during that span of better than 500 yards receiving so far. Evans just 1 catch for 5 yards. 2nd and 18 after the penalty. Cincinnati was not fooled. Charles Sims loses yardage. Carlos Dunlap, who had the early sack, gets him for a loss of 2 as we take another look.
Watch, they're going to pull the right guard, but look at the defenders. See the cock nose right there? He's going to split it, and they're able to get through there, and then they come off the edge as Carlos Dunlap to be able to make a play in the backfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
If you've just joined us, keep in mind another major storyline today. All 3 tight ends for Tampa Bay down. Brandon Myers, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, and Luke Stocker had to elevate Cameron Brate off their practice squad. It's his NFL debut. Has to be giving him issues in the running game. With a screen pass, this is the rookie Sims, crosses the 20. Past the original line of scrimmage, late penalty marker comes in. Dunlap and Newman on the tackle. Pass play goes for 11 as we await the call from Bill Levy. Looks like it's against Tampa.
Personal foul, leg whip. Number 72 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's Garrett Gilkey making just his 2nd start. Evan Dietrich Smith inactive today due to illness.
Lovie Smith is really disappointed. And, you know, the penalties that his team has racked up all season long, as we said, came in today, the 4th most penalized team in the National Football League. That's one area they have to improve. And they also have to improve on protecting the football.
Michael Kanan, the 10th-year punter, out of Western Washington. And again, Adam Jones, who hasn't signaled for a fair catch in about 10 years, takes another hard hit. Tonight on 60 Minutes, Sam and Baker back for the final season of The Mentalists. It's tonight after Madam Secretary, only CBS. Here's Andy Dalton, 7th career game where he has thrown 3+ interceptions, 3 in the first half. This is Jeremy Hill, the rookie running back, 9-yard run, just inside Tampa territory. Not much to talk about, Sally, from the 2 quarterbacks.
They're throwing it as much to the other team as they are to their own receivers. 7 of 11 for Andy Dalton. 3 of those, though, are interceptions and only 1 incompletion for Dalton in the game.
2nd and short. Hill needing to get to the Bucs 47, penalty marker behind the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation. Number 77 offense was off the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
It's their Pro Bowl tackle, Andrew Whitworth. We sat down with Marvin Lewis yesterday, and he says, you know, Andy Dalton has had a lot of moments where he's struggled. He always seems to bounce back. This is a lot to come back from and psychologically recover from after that nightmare first half.
Yeah, I think you have to settle yourself down as a veteran quarterback in the National Football League. They put a lot on his shoulders, but they've also put a lot in his bank account. So you can ask a lot of Andy Dalton at critical moments like this as they enter the month of December.
Play action from Dalton, 2nd and 6, slings it up the slot. It is incomplete. A.J. Green, the intended receiver. Coverage by Dixon, the rookie, who had the interception in the first half.
It's a good throw by Dalton. I think this one should have been hauled in by A.J. Green. You can see right there, right in the breadbasket. He hits the ground, and then the ball comes out.
Green so far, if you've just joined us, 2 catches, 31 yards. After some incredibly gaudy numbers from him over the last 2 weeks. 3rd and 6 from the 47. Bucs coming on the blitz. Dalton tucks it away. He's going to throw it across his body. Fine screen. First down pass play inside Bucs territory. 13 critical yards as they move the chains.
And this was all Andy Dalton on a critical 3rd down play. He tucked it as if he was going to run it. He lured the defenders towards him. Now watch, he's going to elude and get an escape to his left, to our right. And watch as he takes off. See the defenders go toward him? That frees up A.J. Green at the 2nd level, and he uses some poise under pressure and still get the ball off with a completion.
Cincinnati atop the AFC North, just a half-game lead over the rest of the field. 7-3-1 record. And really a must-win situation after today. Dalton wrapped up and sacked. They lose 3. Daquan Bowers and Akeem Spence able to wrap them up.
You know, Dalton is one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the National Football League, only behind that of Peyton Manning over the last 2 years. And this is one of the things I think he does very well to help protect himself. See how he presses the line of scrimmage, climbs the pocket, and even though he's sacked, they don't lose a whole lot on the play.
Second time Dalton has been sacked today. 2nd and 13, they fake the draw. Screen pass, this is Hill. Cuts back inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Tackled by Danny Lansana. Sally, we had Cincinnati in week 1 against Baltimore, and the season started with them saying, look, they've got the defense, they've got the running back in Gio Bernard, they've got the wide receivers in Green and Sanu. It really would come down to Andy Dalton. Could he take them back to the playoffs, A, and B, help them take the next step?
I think you're absolutely right. Despite all those injuries we talked about in the first half that they have sustained, they still played well around their quarterback, Andy Dalton. It is his decision-making and his inability to protect the football at critical moments that really has hurt the football team. At least it has hurt their consistency on offense.
Critical 3rd and 9. Dalton hit on a release, somehow gets it to Hill. He'll be well short of that first down. Danny Lansana, the 2nd-year linebacker out of Connecticut, who has had such an impactful year for Lovie Smith, on the stop.
Well, look at this. Pressure coming off the right side of Dalton. He's hit and still able to complete this pass. That's incredible strength there. And you can tell that Dalton's playing with a little bit better poise here in the early going of the 2nd half.
Kevin Huber has had one of the great seasons we've seen from an NFL punter, maybe ever. On to boot it away. Trying to pin him back inside the 5, and they will do just that. Excellent coverage down the field. Darquez Denard able to get to him. 3-point lead for the Bucs.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Game of War. Play free now. And by Honda, where you can get great deals during Happy Honda Days.
Beautiful 70-degree day downtown Tampa Bay. 10-0 Bucs with 9 and change remaining in this 3rd quarter. Spiro Vita, Simon Wilcox, Chris Fisher, rest of our CBS crew in this Week 13 matchup between Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. They keep it on the ground. Minimal pickup for Doug Martin. Let's go downstairs, check in with Chris Fisher, who may be able to shed some light on some of Dalton's struggles today. Chris?
Yeah, Bengals staff telling me Andy Dalton wasn't feeling well last night at the team hotel. It's very warm down here on the field, and he's drinking a particularly special bottle out of a plastic water bottle that has black tape around it. It could just be for him set aside because nobody else has seemed to touch it. So that could lead on to why he's performed the way he has, Spiro.
Well, it's about needing to rehydrate. Typically, if you're sick night before a game and you come down to this warm weather, you have to be able to hydrate, and I'm sure they're giving him fluids to do that.
Well, can they get him in the end zone as Martin blown up? Reggie Nelson got there first. Cincinnati saying it's a safety. No signal yet from the officials. Penalty marker thrown. Here's Bill Levy.
Holding in the field of play, number 72 offense. Penalties declined. Third down.
And if that penalty, of course, takes place in the end zone, it's a safety as the Bucs dodge a bullet.
Good point, Spiro. He was outside of the end zone, and then you get the infraction there. A really good play by the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Brandon Thompson knifing in underneath. You see Reggie Nelson getting involved in the run defense. But he did get out before the penalty flag was thrown.
Tampa Bay backed up as far as can be. 3rd and 11 at about the 1-inch line. Martin just trying to get the punter some breathing room. Leon Hall, the cornerback, in for the tackle. Making another successful recovery from his 2nd torn Achilles injury in the last couple of years, and Tampa Bay will punt.
And Spiro, that whole defensive stop simply set up by the punt of Kevin Huber to pin this Tampa Bay offense deep inside the 5-yard line. They really had nothing that they could do but simply run the ball in 3 consecutive plays and then try to buy room for their punter to get it out of there.
Here's Michael Kamen. Deep in his own end zone. Brandon Tate back to field it, and he is brought down as a penalty marker comes in. Excellent punt by Cannon of 49 yards. Russell Shepard leading the charge, and now the penalty call from Levy.
They're teeing off on these Bengals punt return guys. Adam Jones already has taken some licks. And now Brandon Tate.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Number 21 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, Cincinnati. Timeout.
It's on Denard, so Dalton back onto the field when we come back. Wednesday on CBS, it's 2 hours of Survivor with 4 crucial challenges and 2 tribal councils. It's anyone's game, a special 2-hour edition of Survivor, Wednesday at 8/7 Central, only CBS. Andy Dalton down to the field. His pass on 1st and 10, batted up high in the air and falls incomplete. You heard the report earlier from Chris Fisher saying that Dalton was ill last night at the Bengals local hotel here in Tampa Bay. If you've just joined us, he threw 3 first-half interceptions and desperately trying to get himself right.
And on the 3rd interception, where he appeared to be weak, to be honest with you, Spiro, throwing off his back foot, where it looked like he was trying to throw it out of bounds, but that ball was just fluttering and was intercepted. So he's going to have to find some strength and energy here in the 2nd half to carry his team to a win.
2nd and 10, Dalton screen pass. This is Bernard. Wrapped up, forced out of bounds at the 40. Cincinnati wanted a late hit penalty. Sally, look at their remaining schedule, talking about Cincinnati. After today, they've got the 2nd toughest remaining schedule. Pittsburgh twice, at Cleveland, and a Monday night game against Denver coming up. They have to have this game.
Yeah, you can't drop this one. You've got to keep pace with the other teams in your division, particularly with that schedule coming up for Marvin Lewis. Every team in the AFC North with 7 wins already.
Only a half-game lead over the rest of the field. 3rd and 6 from the 41. Dalton over the middle, finds the rookie Wright. James Wright, who entered the day with just 2 receptions, 10 yards through the air, and a monstrous first down for Cincinnati.
Oh, take a look at it, and Andy Dalton doing a better job getting the ball out of his hands, staying with Wright. And if I'm Hugh Jackson, he knows his quarterback was ill last night. He tried to do a lot of things creatively to run the football. But against this group, I'm lining it up, and I'm going to go with the run game to help my quarterback.
This is Bernard. A lot of talk in Cincinnati after Dalton's performance, Solomon, in that Week 10 home loss to Cleveland where they lost 24-3. Dalton in that game threw 3 interceptions. This is the 7th time he's thrown at least 3 in a game. He bounced back with 2 straight road wins, returning home to his home state last week. Can he cross the finish line leading them today?
And can they win their 3rd consecutive road game, which would be phenomenal heading into that 4-game stretch that we talked about in the month of December.
2nd and 9 from the Bucs 46. Dalton slings it over the middle, finds Gresham up the slot, Brought down at the 35, another first down, 13 yards. Dalton to Gresham.
Good read by Dalton, good throw by Andy Dalton in terms of reading the underneath coverage. It's that cover 2 defense, and take a look at this. He's going to thread the needle right between 2 linebackers. Look at that. And as soon as Gresham turned around, the ball was right on top of him. So it was great anticipation on the read by Andy Dalton.
First and 10 from the 36. Make it 35 as Bernard going backwards. Danny Lansana there again. How huge has Lansana been? The guy who bounced around the league, has taken a very circuitous route to get to this point. He played with Josh McCown in the UFL in Hartford. He has been a godsend, especially with the injuries that they've dealt with.
He's been huge. He's found a home on Lovie Smith's defense, and they were just blitzing the run that time. And so that's why you find Hugh Jackson doing some creative things to disguise their attempt to run the football, because whenever they line up in that I formation, the Bucs are just blitzing the run game.
Second and 12. Dalton, high pass. Gresham just stabs it out of the air. Huge pass play, 6 yards to give them a manageable third down coming up.
Oh, this one close. That was a high throw. And if Gresham doesn't stab it, as you said, that ball is going to be tipped and floating on the back end in that secondary. Dalton's got to be careful. Continue to be aggressive, but you got to be careful on these kind of high throws.
Well, a Tampa defense that started the year so poorly. Last week, their best performance of the season in the loss in Chicago. Can they hold here and get off the field on 3rd and 6?
He's got man coverage from the Bucs.
Dalton, quick drop, near side, finds Sanu. Sanu like a pinball inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line. 14 yards and another first down.
Dalton has settled in, and he's reading the defense very well. They disguise the man coverage, and watch, it actually ends up being zone. And he sees they're not chasing, so he goes to the slot receiver, Mohamed Sanu, who with that big body and his ability to possess the ball, you can bang these receivers around, but they are so big and so strong, they tend to hold on to it and still get a positive gain after the catch.
5 straight completions for Dalton, that time to Sanu, who's in the midst of a career year. First and 10 from the 15, draw play. This is Bernard. Picks up maybe 2. Deshaun Goldson, Danny Lansana among the tacklers. Clock continues to run, 2:34 remaining in a 3-point game.
And that was the same read option play that Andy Dalton scored the touchdown on that reverse action read option to Giovanni Bernard. On the previous play, Dalton pulled it and kept it himself. On that time, he gave it to Gio Bernard.
Another extended drive by Dalton. 10 plays, 2nd and 9. From inside the 14. Dalton going end zone. A.J. Green for the Cincinnati touchdown. 13-yard strike, and Cincinnati takes its first lead.
Leonard Johnson in coverage. In critical moments, always think players, not plays. Get the ball over the top. Man-to-man coverage against Leonard Johnson, and there is a nice throw. Whatever was in that bottle that they gave to that drink to Andy Dalton, boy, did it rehydrate and re-energize their quarterback. Played very well on that drive.
Green had the career-high 12 receptions last week. His 5th touchdown of the season, as Nugent's point after is good. So Dalton putting the 3 picks behind him, at least for the moment. And Cincinnati with its first lead here in Tampa Bay. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cialis. And by State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today.
Aerial coverage of today's game being provided by MetLife. Andy Dalton, 13-yard strike as you take a look high above Raymond James Stadium. Little pirate ship. One of the great attractions in the NFL. That is a short kick fielded by Tampa Bay. It's Ori Lemon. Did it go 10 yards? I don't think it did. Penalty marker comes in right at the line of scrimmage from right where the football was kicked. Tampa Bay staying very alert.
Doesn't have to go 10 in order for the return team to recover it.
Offside. Number 52 of the kicking team. The 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. First down, Tampa Bay.
Wow, they'll get the ball even closer to the goal line. See, now the ball doesn't have to travel 10 yards for the return team to recover it. Does have to travel 10 for the kickoff team to recover it. But after being offsides, Lemon's able to come down and get it.
What an alert play by Lemon, making the start today at linebacker for the injured Levante David, as Nugent trying to catch him off guard, but Lemon was ready.
Yeah, he was ready, and he attacked the football. What you have to do if you're going to play on that front line on the kick return team.
So 14-10 Bengals, if you've just joined us, their first lead today. Second straight week that Tampa Bay has blown a 10-0 lead. Brandon Thompson coming across the line of scrimmage. Bucs offensive lineman didn't appreciate the shot he took on the count. All kinds of penalty markers come flying in.
You know,
Sally, I guess you want to get your money's worth if you come across.
Oh, absolutely. And boy, did he pay that often.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 98 defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Brandon Thompson. Watch it come shooting in. Yeah, he teed off on him. And not only with that, I think a poor play. I think it was a bad decision to go with the onside kick in that situation. Maybe they saw something they liked, and maybe it was just poor execution by the kicker. But the way the Bengals defense has been playing, you just got back into the ball game, take the lead at 14-10. I don't know why you go for the onside kick there and give the Bucs great field position here.
Well, can McCown get them into the end zone? The journeyman quarterback with only his 7th start with the Bucs. First and 10 after the penalty. Pitch play to Sims. Cuts back inside the 15, ahead of the 12. Another penalty comes in. 4-yard run by the rookie, who missed the first 8 games of the season with an ankle injury. Again, our referee, if you've just joined us, is Bill Levy. And he has been awfully busy. This one appears to be against Tampa Bay.
Personal foul, clipping, roll-up block, number 75 offense. 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's O'Neal Cousins. We go back to New York in an update with James Brown.
Buffalo quickly striking. 2 quick touchdowns. Terrence West going to roll to his left. He's going to fumble. Jerry Hughes is going to pick up the fumble. He's going to return it for a touchdown. Buffalo right now on top of Cleveland by virtue of those 2 touchdowns, 14-3.
All right, back to Spiro and Solid.
Well, you just get the sense that Bengals fans are going to be sweating through the rest of this day. We saw Baltimore playing earlier against San Diego. A very jumbled up postseason picture in that AFC North. Here's Sims again, getting close to the 25-yard line, about 26 after a run of 5.
And after 3 consecutive plays with a penalty flag, we finally get one without a penalty flag being thrown. And now the Cincinnati Bengals have to settle in and play some defense. And we haven't seen any real production out of the Tampa Bay offense since early in the first quarter of the ballgame. Josh McCown's got to get this offense going. And I think it starts by their ability to run the football.
This is 2nd and 20. Jackson in motion, top of your picture. Play action for McCown. Short pass to Sims, crosses the 20, close to the 17-yard line. Tackle made by Terrence Newman.
Well, a poor attempt to tackle by Ray Maualuga. And I think we heard going in at halftime, Marvin Lewis told Chris Fisher down on the field that he simply have to improve in terms of their tackling on defense. And we just saw Ray Maualuga really whiff and allow the completion to go for close to a first down.
I think we had some premature cannonball fire here inside the stadium. Threw some people off. As that clock continues to run down. This will be the final play of the quarter. 3rd and 11 from just outside the 17. Play clock down to 1. Wow. 4 different penalty markers come in.
False start, illegal snap. Number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down. That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
That's the 3rd penalty against Garrett Gilkey, the 2nd-year starter, making only his 2nd career NFL start. We are through 3 in Tampa Bay. 4-point lead for the visitors. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Raymond James Stadium, Tampa Bay, Florida. As we are ready for the 4th quarter, Cincinnati taking its first lead of the day on a 13-yard touchdown strike. Andy Dalton to A.J. Green late in the 3rd quarter. Now Josh McCown and company, 3rd and 16 at the Cincinnati 22, trying to take the lead back. McCown from the gun. Here come the Bengals. They get to McCown and wrap him up. Geno Atkins again. Sally, you've talked about how pass pressure has been an issue for this defense. They get to McCown again.
And see, look, they go 4 wide receivers, so you only have 5 offensive linemen plus the fullback to block 4. They got to be able to hold up. But look, pressure up the middle by Geno Atkins, Carlos Dunlap, Robert Gathers. They all close in on Josh McCown to come away with the sack.
Cincinnati with a pass rush that has really struggled. End of the day, 30th in the NFL with just 13 sacks. Patrick Murray, 42-yard field goal is good. So the drive stalls, but they do salvage 3. It's a 1-point game. Coming up tomorrow on CBS, it is a Mike and Molly marathon. 4 hilarious back-to-back episodes starting at 8/7 Central, only CBS. Spiro Ditas, Solomon Wilcox, Chris Fisher, rest of our CBS crew. Solly, that ill-advised onside kick attempt, setting up the short field for Tampa Bay. And the field goal makes it a 1-point game as Adam Jones watches that sail through the back of the end zone. Jackson and Dog trying to figure it out. Up 1 on CBS. Bengals offense back onto the field from the 20. 1st and 10. Up a point. Opening minute, 4th quarter here in Tampa Bay. This is Jeremy Hill will not get to the line of scrimmage. As Cincinnati fans not only keeping tabs on this game, but certainly what's going on around the division. Solomon just a half-game lead ahead of the rest of the pack. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and the Steelers. And Baltimore, of course, right now, the only other team in the division with a lead as they play at home against San Diego. Dalton on 2nd and 11. That's Ryan Hewitt to the original line of scrimmage. Let's get you an update on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Back to New York at James Brown.
Drew Brees in a groove.
He really is, JB. This is going to be his 4th touchdown pass of the day. A double move versus Ike Taylor, number 24 for the Steelers. That is Kenny Stills, 69 yards, 28-13 Saints over the Steelers.
Bart Scott says styles make the fight. Spiro, Solly, and Scott.
Well, that'll make Cincinnati fans happy. Not sure to please Tampa Bay fans as they try to chase the Saints in the NFC South. 3rd and 9. Dalton again goes underneath to Hill. Alteron Werner had the first half interception there for the stop. And Tampa Bay's defense that has really turned the corner the last couple of weeks, once again able to get off the field. Here are the updated scores in the AFC North.
How about the Baltimore Ravens taking care of business against the San Diego Chargers, and then Cleveland struggling on the road at Buffalo. So right now, Cincinnati Bengals, you know, they've got to take care of their business here in Tampa. They and Baltimore could be left alone on top of the AFC North division when this week is done.
Cincinnati next 2 weeks, home for the Steelers, and then to Cleveland as they'll wrap up the season. A Monday night game against Denver, and then at Pittsburgh to close the regular season. Here's Bobby Rainey, inches to the 30. Opening stages, fourth quarter, 1-point lead for the Bengals on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. Jared the Galleria of Jewelry. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Georgetown Brenner Field, spring training home of the New York Yankees, literally across the street from where we are here at Raymond James Stadium. 14-13, 1-point lead for the Bengals. First and 10 as Josh McCown keeps it on the ground to Doug Martin for a pickup of a couple. Coming up after the game, time permitting, the NFL Today update presented by LGG3. Join JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cowher in our studios in New York. They'll have the latest scores and highlights. What a unique dynamic to this game. We've told you about where Cincinnati sits atop the AFC North, but Tampa Bay at 2-9, incredibly just 2 games out of first place in the NFC South and still alive in the division.
4 wide receivers in the game for Tampa.
Second and 9. McCown under pressure. Little shovel pass. What a play by McCown to elude the sack. Somehow gets it to Martin, and they pick up 3 yards of the play. Lemur on the tackle.
Whenever they've gone 4 wides, they've had a difficult time protecting McCown. And you can see pressure provided by Wallace Gilberry knifing in underneath. But these 5 offensive linemen find it very difficult to keep the front 4 of the Cincinnati Bengals off their quarterback.
Lemur being looked at has to come off the field. You see how the Bucs have struggled today, just 1 for 7 on third down. 3rd and 6. Low snap again. McCown has to pick it up in a hop, gets it away. It is caught by Evans, but he is out of bounds. An unbelievable effort by McCown. Evans just ran out of real estate.
This is just McCown saying, I'm going to give my guy, who's 6'5", a shot down the field. And look at that, so close. Even that one left foot had already been out of bounds and on the chalk. But what an effort by Mike Evans, showing you that he's a talented first-round pick. Wow.
Told you about Evan Dietrich Smith, their usual starting center, out today due to illness. Garrett Gilkey has struggled. 3 penalties and a couple of bad snaps. Charlie, that has been another big storyline in this game. A rare fair catch signaled by Adam Jones. First one in a long time. Gives it back to the Bengals when we come back. Cincinnati Bengals, half-game lead atop the AFC North. Trying to escape Tampa Bay with a road win, which would be their 3rd straight in 3 weeks away from home. Giovanni Bernard with a pickup of a couple, tackle made by Bradley McDougald. Thursday Night Football returns Thursday. Tony Romo and the Cowboys trying to bounce back from that loss the other night. We'll take on the Bears, 2 of the iconic franchises in prime time. Thursday Night Football, 8 Eastern, live on NFL Network on Thursday. Tony Romo, Jay Cutler. Cutler has had better days solid in Chicago. It's been a long year for him.
Both teams are desperate for a win.
2nd and 7, Bernard again. Returning last week from that 3-game absence due to hip and clavicle issues. Michael Johnson, a longtime member of the Bengals, on the tackle.
And the Bucs right now doing a really good job of taking away the Cincinnati Bengals run game. That's putting more pressure on Marvin Lewis and his quarterback Andy Dalton to have to make plays. Now on 3rd down, you got to go in and convert it. So, you know, you're going to trust Andy Dalton to make the right decision of where to go with the football, then throw it accurately.
Low snap, Dalton 36, finds Green. Crossing pattern, Green ahead to the 40. There is a penalty flag behind the play. 13 yards, but it may be coming back.
Pass interference. Number 18, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
We're going to say A.J. Green used his hands to separate from coverage. He certainly made a very nice move to get open. You see him in the slot. Watch him separate right there. Just kind of knock down the hands. I'm not so sure that he didn't initiate coverage. It was just a hand fight between he and Isaiah Fry. At some point, you have to let him play, and I'm not so sure that by knocking down the hand that he gained an advantage on the route.
Is that difficult for a former defensive back to say that?
No, I think you got to be fair. You know, it's a football game. We want to see him play evenly.
3rd and 16 after the penalty. Dalton swings it over the middle, in and out of the hands of Mohamed Sanu. A perfectly thrown ball by Dalton, who has had his struggles today. The 3 earlier interceptions. That time Sanu has to make the catch.
Gotta say, though, Dalton's been on the money here in the second half, Spiro. Look at this throw. Threads the needle in between that Tampa 2 coverage. Linebacker running down the middle of the field. Still is able to get it into Sanu, who can't hold on to the football.
Sanu, in the midst of a career season, has been so short-handed. Critical drop here will give it back to the Bucs. Bobby Rainey backpedaling, he's going to play it from the 22. Makes a couple of guys miss. Rainey out past the 40. Run out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Another penalty flag behind the play. A 59-yard punt by Huber. 20 yards on the return from Rainey.
This will be the 17th penalty flag of the game.
Bill Levy has been awfully busy today.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 24 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down, Tampa. Timeout.
Well, there is no 24 from Tampa, but take our word for it. Someone penalized on their side. Stay with us.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kelly Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at KBB.com. And by Subway Restaurants. Get your own big hot pastrami melt at Subway.
Well, Saturday the stars come out on CBS Sports for the SEC Championship game on CBS. Number 1 Alabama takes on number 17 Missouri, and later the Mountain West Championship featuring Fresno State at 23rd ranked Boise State. Alabama big winner yesterday against Auburn. And the highest scoring Iron Bowl ever. Well, who wants to win this game? Tampa Bay offensively back onto the field down to 8:23 left in the fourth.
Number 70, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And the parade of penalty markers continues. Again, here are the updated out-of-town scores in the AFC North. Baltimore, solidly the only other team right now in front.
Yeah, you can see Cleveland struggling, Pittsburgh struggling against New Orleans. And for those fans in the NFC South division, if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, need to get a win here to keep pace with the New Orleans Saints. Well, the Saints right now controlling the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road.
Bucs 2 games back in the NFC South, and Cincinnati again at 7-3-1, just a half-game lead over Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cleveland. This is Charles Sims, unable to get to the original line of scrimmage. Let's send you back to New York and an update on the Steelers with JB.
Take a look at this, Spiro.
Well, it's the Chargers. This is Ryan Matthews. He's going to go 14 yards. He's going to get his team closer to the Ravens. 23-20. Ravens still lead over the Chargers.
13-12 left in regulation. Back to Spiro.
OJB, Chargers helping the Cincinnati Bengals cause. Baltimore Ravens got to pick it up.
Here's McCown surveying the field, 2nd and 16. Pressure on the pass, right on the release, and the officials say it is a completed pass. 23 yards, Mike Evans coming back for it. Only his 2nd reception, Solomon, on the afternoon.
I don't know how Josh McCown throws this ball. He throws it off his back foot, but watch Mike Evans. He'll go dig it out and is able to keep this ball from hitting the turf. Just an excellent route and an even better catch.
leading candidate for the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year in what has been
Cincinnati.
a fantastic rookie season for Evans.
Timeout.
As Tampa Bay will burn a timeout.
Take a look at the throw by McCown. Off his back foot, evading pressure. That's why the ball floated. But he at least hung it up enough for Mike Evans to drive his way back to the football. Wallace Gilberry and Chase to the quarterback. And that ball just fluttered until Mike Evans could haul it in.
Well, Week 13 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you on Fox. Big one coming up between Arizona and Atlanta. Later tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN. Jets and the Dolphins at 8:30 Eastern Time. So Josh McCown, Sally, the prototype journeyman quarterback, missing a number of games earlier in the season with a fractured thumb. Has been hardened by all the disappointment. What a huge home win this would be if he could somehow get them by Cincinnati. 1st and 10. McCown over the middle. Incomplete.
That was a great play by the free safety, George Iloka. He's able to cut off this route. And I nearly thought he would have an interception. But take a look at it. He's going to come here after the crossing route comes from the other side. He's able to cut it off. I thought he was going to nearly jump the route and intercept it. But take a look at him cutting off the route. It's just a really good read from center field.
Iloka having a Pro Bowl caliber season, among the best cover safeties in the NFL. He leads the league, in fact, in passer rating against on balls in his area. Another sack for Cincinnati. Wallace Gilberry. Another penalty marker coming in, thrown beyond the line of scrimmage with exactly 7 minutes remaining.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, number 23 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Terrence Newman working at the bottom of the screen against the receiver. They caught him using the hands right here. Hands to the face. Wow, this is...
Is that enough for the penalty, Solomon?
Apparently so. Apparently so.
Boy, there have been some tough defensive penalties against Cincinnati and against the Bucs, for that matter, that have really hurt them. Automatic first down as they mark it outside the 36.
Hurry, son!
Still anyone's game with 6 and change remaining. This is Sims. As Marcus Arroyo Solomon, the interim offensive coordinator, trying to come up with the right mixture of plays here. Again, Jeff Tedford, who was supposed to be their offensive coordinator, having to take a leave before the season even began. They have had every kind of obstacle you can imagine. That, the injuries, and here they are with a chance to stay alive incredibly in that division.
And today they're playing without their talented center and Evan Dietrich Smith. Garrett Gilkey hasn't played well for Marcus Arroyo on offense, but yet they're managing to hang in there.
McCown pump fake, 2nd and 9. Screen pass to Sims, cuts back across the 45, inside Cincinnati territory, and nearly down to the 40. Iloka and Nelson finally stop him. 21 yards and a Buccaneers first down.
Now watch Ray Maualuga on this play. Stay with number 58. Allow him to take you to the ball and tell me, should he make this tackle? If he makes the tackle right there, the play is over. He whiffs, and now you have yourself a big play by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And look at that. Whoa! That's a man-sized block by the rookie Mike Evans on Terrence Newman.
Evans got a career in wrestling after his football days are over. What a block by the rookie. 1st and 10. Charles Sims split out, bottom of your picture. McCown goes through his progression, swings it out far side, incomplete. Once again, Iloka on the coverage. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up.
Let's go back and take a look at this, because rarely do you see a wide receiver just dominate in the blocking game for a running back. Look at this. 6'5", picking on Terrence Newman, the 10-year veteran in the National Football League. You might want to call him Mr. Mike Evans after that play.
Don't pick on the old guy. Terrence Newman, 12 years in. What a career he's had. But the rookie got the better of him on that play.
6'5", 230. My goodness.
McCown under center. This is 2nd and 10. Here's Martin. It has been a two-headed attack, Martin and Sims. We haven't seen much of Bobby Rainey today. As that clock continues to run, we are inside of 5 minutes. Tampa Bay with all 3 timeouts left.
Well, just when the Bengals do make a play defensively, they get a critical penalty to breathe new life into Josh McCown and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. 3rd down, big play.
McCown audibilizes. 3rd and 11. Bengals coming. McCown's pass batted at the line of scrimmage. It appeared to be Dunlap who had his big mitts on it.
He does have big mitts at 6'6", 275. He gets into the throwing lane of Josh McCown. Watch number 96 rotate and then rise up right there, getting a hand on the ball on a critical 3rd down play, forcing the potential punt for Tampa.
What a play by Dunlap, the 5th-year defensive end out of Florida. On the same field today as his ex-teammate Michael Johnson, who he is still very close with. As it looks like Tampa Bay unable to get it before it entered the end zone, it will be a touchback.
Here we go.
What a throw!
Touchdown!
How did he do it?
Rodgers going up top.
The end zone. Oh, what a grab!
Can you believe it?
It is unbelievable.
And coming up next, the big one from Lambeau. Tom Brady and the Patriots, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, both as hot as can be. It's coming up 4:25 on CBS.
2 of my favorite quarterbacks in all the National Football League. It is a pleasure to watch Aaron Rodgers play.
And amazingly, their first ever regular season meeting. 1st and 10, this is Jeremy Hill. Crosses the 20. As this one getting awfully tight. 2 timeouts left for Marvin Lewis and the Bengals. Solly trying to escape out of here with a win and maintain first place in the division.
Well, it's very important that Marvin Lewis and Hugh Jackson, they're going to stick to the run game. But you can also feel like you can rely on Andy Dalton, who's played much better here, Spiro, in the 2nd half. He's gone 11 of 14 for 84 yards in the 2nd half. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Let's see if he can keep the train on the tracks.
2nd and 8. Tampa Bay getting the push up front. Jeremy Hill loses yardage. Loss of 3. Michael Johnson leading the charge. And a big play call coming up here. Solomon on 3rd and long. What do they do?
Big 3rd and 11 play. We've seen them be able to attack with the slot receiver. That's where Andy Dalton's been able to get an easy read, an easy throw over the middle of the field against this Tampa 2 cover defense. Now, if they go to that slot receiver, he's got to watch the linebacker in this Tampa 2 zone getting great depth, and that's going to be his key read to tell him where to go with the football.
3rd and 11. Dalton pump fakes, throws far side. He's got his man. It is caught by Wright. Inbounds. Miraculous catch by the rookie. 31 yards for the 1st down.
Now take a look. He's going to eye this player right here because he's going to rotate to what we call a cover 2 zone. And this ball is going to go way out here. Now take a look. See the pump fake? That's what opens up the receiver on the boundary. He was able to get the defender to bite on the pump fake. Ghosted, jumped it. Andy Dalton made an excellent throw.
James Wright, the leading receiver today. 3 catches, 59 yards. Here's Hill. He's got some daylight. Inside the 40 for the 1st down run of a dozen. Tackled by Goldson. So Solly, a couple of rookies trying to put this game on ice. James Wright and Jeremy Hill.
Andy Dalton making critical decisions and a really good throw. Now take a look at this one. He's able to get it to the outside to right. but it was the pump fake that lured number 38 Golson out of position that allowed Dalton to make the throw over to right. And then Jeremy Hill, as a rookie, does a really good job of getting better as the game goes on into the fourth quarter. We've already seen him become the workhorse in this offense. Tough yards on the inside against really good defenses. And this run showed us exactly how he can play when the offense is asking him to fuel the rushing attack.
And those are two players, Sally, that played together at LSU. James Wright, 7th round pick. Jeremy Hill, who the Bengals took in the 2nd round. What a moment for those two, as Cincinnati maintaining the 1-point lead.
Dalton is showing he's much improved in the second half of this game, shaking off the ills of the first half.
Down to 2 timeouts. This is Hill again, unable to find the edge. Danny Lansana, Mason Foster combining on the tackle. As Tampa Bay will burn its 2nd timeout, still the 2-minute warning and 1 more remaining as Lovie Smith and Marvin Lewis continue the chess match. Now coming up Saturday, the season premiere of NCAA basketball on CBS. Frank Kaminsky and number 2 Wisconsin against in-state rival Marquette. Great way to start it all on the road to the Final Four on CBS Sports. Raymond James Stadium, sun starts to set in beautiful Tampa Bay. Temperatures in the low 70s in what has been certainly an ugly game at times, but ultra competitive. 2 teams amazingly with a lot to play for. We know about the Bengals, but how about the Bucs at the bottom of the NFC South? But Solomon, they need a defensive hold right here as they get Hill for a minimal gain. And now Lovie Smith will burn his final timeout.
It's good use of the timeout to go ahead and get a stop here on 3rd 11. Now, they've done a really good job of blitzing the run game. Do you go ahead and blitz an Andy Dalton and leave your corners in man-to-man coverage? Or do you play your cover Tampa 2 zone? And on that last 3rd down play, Andy Dalton was able to manipulate the zone and still pick up the 1st down. So I think he's going to rely on his front 4, Gerald McCoy, William Golston, Hakeem Spence, Michael Johnson, to create pressure on Dalton with a 4-man rush and play your Tampa 2 zone defense.
Well, the big pass play to the rookie James Wright a moment ago also came on a 3rd and 11 play. They gained 30. What does Hugh Jackson dial up here with 2:14 remaining? Tampa Bay out of timeouts. Play clock down to 2. Play action from Dalton. Pump fakes, under pressure, throws on a run, out of bounds. And it will be 4th and 11.
It's just a 1-man route. And look, over here to, look, that's Mohamed Sanu. They try to get the double move. They're trying to work Jonathan Banks. He didn't bite on it. It was a 1-man route. And because he didn't bite, that play was dead in the water, Spiro.
Banks had the first of 3 interceptions thrown by Dalton early in this game. In fact, on the first play from scrimmage. And so that time, Dalton not taking any chances. Well, Huber has been so good this season. Can he pin them back deep here? Penalty marker whistles the play dead.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Critical penalty because he's so good at punting. It's Kevin Huber. He can hit you down inside the 5-yard line. You don't have to take a delay of game penalty because you had to motion and shift to the alignment prior to the punt.
Well, it's all set up for Josh McCown, a season that has been as frustrating as any. In his previous 11 years, the injuries, the mountain losses, it's all set up for him here. He can put a lot of that behind him if he can somehow lead Tampa Bay to a win. Bobby Rainey signals fair catch. And this one will take a Bucs bounce into the end zone. Still one play before the 2-minute warning. Tampa Bay, Solomon out of timeouts. Can the 35-year-old journeyman quarterback lead them down the field? You see what he's done in his career 4 times. He's had a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime.
With 2:01, you're going to get a play, and then you're going to get the 2-minute warning. So you do have a timeout there. Go ahead and take a shot over the middle of the football field because you don't have to catch it, maybe get out of bounds and stop the clock with no timeouts left. But what did Josh McCown tell us? He said, you know, he and Lovie Smith have a great relationship. He wants to come over and help Lovie achieve the dream of turning this program around. He said, it's too bad it hasn't happened yet, but I'm here to make sure we get it done.
McCown from the gun, 1st and 10. Under pressure, hit on the throw, it's incomplete. Geno Atkins, who had the sack earlier, right up the gut. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 1 point, Cincinnati lead. You're watching the NFL on CBS. There's Patrick Murray. You see the target line. Tampa Bay out of timeouts. $1:55 remaining. Trying to get within field goal distance. His career-long 55 yards back in Week 5 in New Orleans. McCown, 2nd and 10, over the middle, completes. Close to the 27, that's Louis Murphy, as they quickly have to get to the line of scrimmage, a pickup of 7.
Remember, the Bucs have no timeouts. If you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you want to get depth. Don't allow them to throw the ball over your head. If they try you, then you've got to come down with the interception.
Clock continues to run, 3rd and 3. McCown near side, 1st down, he's got the rookie Evans. 8 yards, they move the chains and stop the clock.
In situations like this, defensively, knowing they have no timeouts and they have to throw the ball near the boundary where they can catch it and then get out of bounds to stop the clock. Go ahead and jump the out route. Just make sure the ball has already left the hands of the quarterback in case of the double move.
Now Josh McCown, as Andy Dalton looks on. McCown coming over with Lovie Smith from Chicago because of the familiarity and the bond between those two. Trying to get a home win for his coach right here. 1st and 10. Screen pass through the hands of the intended receiver, Murphy, who a moment ago had his first catch all day. Critical drop. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, McCown did a good job. The protection held up. They're stunting up front on that defensive line. And there you see it, right through the hands of Murphy, who's almost acting as if he wanted to run with it before making the catch.
Murphy last week, career high 113 yards. 3rd career game of 100 yards, I should say.
And it's going to be really hard for Josh McCown to throw the ball down the field because the protection of his offensive line simply isn't holding up long enough.
2nd and 10. McCown again under pressure, finds Rainey, screen pass, Rainey makes it, guy miss, inside Cincinnati territory, still going. Down to the 37-yard line, tackled by Vincent Ray, 28 yards. What a play by Rainey.
Another missed tackle by Cincinnati Bengals in the secondary, out on the perimeter. Had a chance to tackle Rainey back at the 35-yard line.
They are right at the target line of their kicker, Patrick Murray. Clock continues to run. Pre-snap movement. Did Gilberry get drawn offside?
Neutral zone infraction. Number 95 defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Wow. Wallace Gilberry. He's a 6-year veteran out of Alabama. Watching number 95. Left side of your screen right there. They draw him offsides. That puts him inside of the target line for Patrick Murray.
Right now, it would be a 49-yard attempt. Murray's career long is 55. 1st and 5, they mark it outside the 31. Here's Rainey. Gonna have to hurry back to the line of scrimmage. They're out of timeouts. Another penalty marker thrown. That stops the clock. 38 seconds.
Holding. Number 72 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Solomon, the 4th penalty against Garrett Gilkey. Updated look at the division in the NFC. South Carolina beaten today in Minnesota. Good news for Tampa Bay. Started the day just 2 games off the pace in that division. An improbable postseason berth. Still very much alive if they can win this game. Out of timeouts, 1st and 15. McCown feels the pressure, takes a shot. Going far side, end zone for Evans, incomplete. Adam Jones with him step for step. 32 seconds left.
He told you, top-down coverage for the Cincinnati Bengals in their secondary. They've given up the fewest touchdown passes of any defense in the NFL. The protection does hold up. He gets it off, but good coverage on the back end by Adam Jones.
Sally, where do you go here? 2nd and 15, no timeouts.
No timeouts. I think you go over the middle of the football field somehow, but you've got to be careful if you're McCown. Allow the receiver to get the quick catch and run and maybe break a tackle to make a play.
2nd and 15. McCown has time over the middle, finds his man Murphy. Down to the 20-yard line. Bucs hurrying out of timeouts, 21-yard pass play to Murphy. And now the officials stop the clock. A challenge flag has been thrown out. Can't throw it here. What's the call? Not sure why they stopped the clock.
This is going to be interesting. It looked like Marvin Lewis initially had thrown the red flag. He wants something looked at.
You can't challenge under 2.
Cincinnati challenge when they're not able to challenge. That means they will be charged a timeout.
Oh, boy. Marvin Lewis, I believe, Sally, is saying that they had 12 men on the field.
Yeah, that's what he's asking them to take a look at it.
So perhaps trying to get the attention of the officials, but you can't challenge inside of 2 minutes.
And there's the nice double move right there, masked up against the linebacker. We said that Tampa can make a play going over the middle of the field. The protection did hold up for Josh McCown. You can see Lewis
plays under review.
Came open. Now, what play? They said the play is under review, but what portion of the play is going to be under review? So it seems as if Marvin Lewis pleaded his case, and he's going to get the officials to go under the hood to look at something. We think they're going to look to see how many men were on the field for the Bucs.
Unbelievable. If that challenge flag isn't thrown, which, by the way, you can't be thrown inside of 2, I'm not sure they go back to this replay, as Tampa Bay was right on top of the football getting ready to snap.
There's 12 guys here. Let's go ahead and look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and that's going to be 12. Marvin Lewis got himself something there. You know, he sits on the competition committee. He knows the rules as well as anyone. He got their attention by throwing the flag. Now, even though he can't challenge it, it's illegal to challenge it, he still has a right to get the officials' mindset and say, okay, let's take a look at it.
Let's bring in our officiating expert, Mike Carey, to navigate us through here.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. Solomon, you're right on point. This is a great challenge by Cincinnati because it stops the game. It only costs them a timeout, which what they had to lose. And what it does is it guarantees a review. A year ago, this would have been a foul and not able to be reviewed. So now that it is reviewed, they'll catch 12 men, move the ball back 5 yards, and they get another snap, and they're out of field goal range. What a great play by Cincinnati.
Hey, Mike, got to ask you.
Lewis is on top of that one.
Yeah, Mike, got to ask you a question. It goes back to that Thanksgiving Day game 1 year ago in Detroit. And remember, they challenged it illegally. And then I know this offseason they made an amendment to that rule.
That's correct, and that it prevented a coach's challenge that was in error from preventing a review. And this is it, right on point. It's able to be reviewed. It's going to save Cincinnati a long game that they would have lost. Moves the ball back 5 yards and probably challenges their field goal position.
So a 21-yard pass play appears to be coming back.
Take a look at the far side of the field at the top of the screen there. You see Marvin Lewis throwing the flag there. And now he's going to he's getting in front of the official saying, look, I threw the flag.
Tampa Bay had 12 players on offense when they ran the last play. 5-yard penalty will be from the previous spot, from the 41 back to the 46-yard line. It'll be second down over with the timer put 26 seconds on the game clock. Cincinnati is still charged a timeout for challenging.
Excellent job by Marvin Lewis. He knew the rules. He knew he was taking a chance there, but what else could you have done there, Spiro? Given the fact that they're going to be deep inside your territory to kick a game-winning field goal with their position precariously hanging in the balance. First place in the AFC North Division. Wow, what a play by Marvin Lewis.
Tampa Bay was well within field goal range. Now they're out as Marvin Lewis has given his team a chance to hold on to this lead. What a play by the 12-year head coach. Negates the 21-yard pass to Murphy. And now what does Marcus Arroyo have dialed up here on 2nd and 20? Again, keep in mind, no timeouts left for Tampa Bay. 26 seconds remaining. The target line is the 36 for the Bucs. Play clock reset to 25 after the penalty. Hasn't begun yet. Officials trying to sort through some confusion here. You saw Bill Levy in the white hat, a referee, and now we're ready.
And the Bengals appear to be confused defensively.
2nd and 20. Does McCown have one more magic trick up his sleeve? Hit as he throws. McCown, second stab, it's incomplete. Intended for the rookie Haran. Excellent coverage by Newman. It'll be 3rd and 20.
Right, Newman knifed in under Haran, nearly came away with the interception. As McCown was pumping in the direction, he gives time for Newman to close in on this route. Look here. He knifes in and nearly came with the interception. Once you start pumping in that direction, I think as a quarterback, you got to be careful to go ahead and pull the trigger on the throw.
Again, the target line for Patrick Murray, Tampa's rookie kicker, is the 36-yard line of Cincinnati. Bucs out of timeouts, 3rd and 20. Here's McCown, flushed out, throws on the run, near side, nearly picked, incomplete. Reggie Nelson was there, and it'll come down to a 4th and 20 play for Tampa Bay.
Now pressure as they flush McCown out to his right. He's able to get outside the pocket. Now watch Nelson knife in underneath this one. All he's got to do is catch it. He's got himself an interception. He came a long way on this play. Bengals secondary is playing one well of a game today. They could do a better job tackling, but it's going to come down to this final play. 12 seconds remaining on 4th and 20.
4th and 20, it comes down to this. McCown steps up in the pocket, looks down the field, over the middle, it is caught. Evans is going to be short of the first down.
They don't have time.
There is 1 second on the game clock. Leon Hall on the tackle.
And why did the clock stop? He was tackled in the field of play. Well, it's going to be first down Cincinnati.
So with the change of possession,
absolutely.
The clock stops, 1 second remaining. Patrick Murray, the rookie kicker who is hoping for a chance, won't get it. And a season of frustration for Josh McCown continues. Unbelievable. And that decision by Marvin Lewis
critical
may very well have saved Cincinnati's bid for a division championship. The Cincinnati Bengals will survive in Tampa Bay. Your final score, 14-13. As the Bengals, for the first time in franchise history, win 3 road games in the span of 3 weeks. And they will fly home to Cincinnati at 8-3-1 as they maintain their very slim margin atop the division. And meantime, Tampa Bay falling now to 2-10 at the bottom of the NFC South. Final score 14-13 coming up next. Game 2 of our doubleheader. The Patriots at Lambeau against the Packers. Now for Chris Fisher, Solomon Wilcots, our entire crew, Spiro Ditas saying so long from Tampa Bay.